G'day guys, this is Swala here. This video is more for the normies throughout the world who are actually looking up budgeting, because I occasionally look at the budgeting videos that are up on YouTube sometimes, and a lot of them are they're just ridiculous. They're just full of so much fluff, like crap, like cutting out the amount of coffees you have for the week, or like skipping a hairdressing session to be able to save $20. It's just absolute garbage, absolute garbage. And like, while ideas like the envelope saving system is a good system, you can do that digitally these days, and you don't have to go through and do all these spreadsheets what like these guys are doing. And half of this stuff just can be automated, and then you can just turn your brain off and stop worrying about or doing all these notepads of summaries by these extremely good-looking people who are like basically just spelling bullcrap to you. So I'm going to give you a more simpler way to be able to get cracking into your budgeting, because most people who approach budgeting are already on the ropes. They're struggling, they don't know how to get through, and you've got to take it baby steps and not get completely bedazzled by writing up huge spreadsheets to figure out how much you're in for. So I'm going to cut straight to that and then talk about how I think most people really should turn into sort of smarter sort of budgeters. And I'll tell you what, I got given this Barefoot Investor book one day, and I read through it, and I thought, I am already way ahead of this. All this sort of stuff is just fluff to make normies think that they can get a hold of themselves, but it still lacks one thing, and that one thing is control. So all these ideas, they let control go out the window, and they hope for the best. I can show you a better way to be able to get control under control. Now, down to the budget. I've gone ahead and drawn this sketch of two sort of scenarios. The one on the left, basically, I've just thrown some random numbers in there. So let's just say you get $1,000 a week in pay, and you have to pay like $450 in rent, $150 in bills, $100 in fuel, $150 in food, and say you spend $150 mucking around, going out and having some fun. If you've got a cash positive bank account, obviously your balance goes up, and then it just bleeds all through the week until the point where you've probably hit zero, perhaps, and then it pumps back up again when you get paid the next time. And if you're running on a credit card debt system, basically, sometimes you're just always in the red. You're just consistently in the red. So what you will do is, you've got heaps of maxed out credit, and you get paid. You pay a certain amount of it off, and then you continue to go out there and spend the rest of your life in credit card debt, which it's absolute debt slavery. You'll never get out of it. There's only one way to get out of it, and that's to go out there and just go and get the money which pays it off somehow, like with a small loan or whatever, and just go smack, pay it off, cut up the card, never go back, and then just pay that mini loan out as you go, or borrowed cash or whatever it is, but just never go back, because once you're a credit card debt slave, it's struggle to get back out. So what I've drawn over here is a more sort of organized banking structure, and you can do this automated. So that's the thing. You can start your automation a little bit at a time, but this should be the end product that you should be targeting for. And you can basically start with your rental account and make that your first separate bank account. And so what I've basically shown here is if let's say you've got a bit of float of money in there, you get payday, it blows right up, and then immediately it just takes it just withdraws the money that you intend to pay your rent for straight away. That way there's no temptation, you don't accidentally pay for your rent, you don't actually accidentally use the money that you need to pay for your rent. As soon as it gets paid, like a day later or 2 days later or 3 days later, it just gets pulled straight out before you've even realized what's going on, and it goes straight into this rental account. Let's say it could be a home loan or rental, of course. So let's say perhaps there's a very small float in the very bottom. Let's say it's $20, $50, whatever it is, and it bounces up, say $450, waits for a few days, and gets paid back out. Or let's say if you pay $450, but it pays at the end of the month, it just clocks up for $450, $900, $1350, whatever it is, and then all the way up to like, was it $1,600 or something like that. And then it just pays it all in one big hit, and that way you know that money is always there. You don't touch it. You don't get the temptation to go out there and take the money out of that rental account. It will always pay the rent, and that way you've always got a roof over your head. Now, to be able to start to drip feed your bills, if you set up a separate bank account, once again, don't be too afraid of going out there and putting multiple bank accounts inside your system. Start to withdraw money out directly and automate it. So you go and get this particular bank bills account to pull out. At the beginning, you can start at $20 a week, and then you can crank it up to $50, and then you can crank it up to $100, and it just yanks the money straight out. So, for instance, over here, the rent gets pulled out, then the bills get paid out, and so that basically fills the coffers up in the bills account, and it can pay those bills every week or every fortnight or every single month. And don't even worry about how much the bill comes in. If the bill's going to come in at, let's say it's going to come in at $180 or $350 or $700, you figure out how much. If you put 4 bills or 6 bills or 12 bills all together, divided by the year, you basically get some sort of number. Let's say you have to pay your electricity, say $45 every single week, or let's say it's $35 every single week. You just regulate that in this bills account, and it just goes bang, 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 and just pays each particular bill the increment that you have allocated to it. And that way, when your bill actually turns up in the mail at the end of the month, it'll come back, instead of saying $300, it perhaps might say $20. And so you know that you've paid 30, and then by the end of the month, when it was 180, it's gone down 150. So you've only got $30 left to pay. And if you know that maybe you're slightly under target, you can pump that 30 up to 35 or $40, and that way you come back and it comes back zero every single time. The target is to get it within $30 either to pay or $30 in credit, and you're laughing. You don't have to pay your bills anymore because the bank automates it. Now, of course, when you've got all the rental account set up, and once you've got the bills account set up, then I would recommend going and getting a completely alternate bank, something that requires a whole different login. Because to tell you the truth, if you've got all your money in one particular bank account and only one bank account, you're leaving yourself exposed to that one bank account, having problems and taking all your money with it. So if you go and get an alternate bank account, let's say you go out there and you start putting in $50. You just send it from one bank to the next bank, $50 at a time, and you can start a savings plan over there. And because that's a totally different login, you can choose to maybe log in once a month or once every 2 months or something, and you don't even need to look. So the money will just start to accumulate there, and you won't be looking at all. When you go and log in, there'll be that little bit of money there. Now, once you've got that level of that concentration underway, you can go and set up an investing account inside there, and that way you can it can either come from the savings and get injected into the investing account. And so if it goes up, basically the funds in the investing account goes up, and if you want to put it into something, whether or not that be gold, whether or not that be shares, or whether or not that be Bitcoin or something like that, it will go up. You can push that money on, go and purchase those investable items, and continue to let that investor bank account go back to near zero. So stage one, fix your rental. Just fix it somehow, and I don't know. You got to start today. You can't let your rental or your house loan just continue to slosh around inside your main living expense account. And mind you, of course, I haven't written it here, but yes, this one here is for you be able to pay for fuel, food, or having fun. And if you want to go and set up in envelopes and put them in your drawer, that's fine. You can go and put $100 in all of them, and then use that, to pay petrol and pay the food and pay for nights out, and perhaps even pay for your Netflix if that's what you're doing or something like that. But you've got to get this rental account, and you got to isolate. It's got to be an island. So the money goes into the rental account. Leave a small float at the bottom of X amount, $10-20. That way it never goes below zero. And make sure that it accumulates the correct amount to be able to pay your rent at the end of the week or end of the month, or if you've got a loan and it's weekly or something like that, it pays every week. And then once you've got that, then set up your bills account. And this one could be the second one you can grow. So you can start to, start from $20, go to 50, go to 100, go to 250, go to 300 or something like that. Just as long as you can continue to go pay. And eventually, once all of this is accumulated, you won't even need to do any more budgeting at all. You won't need to do any more investing. You won't need to do any more saving, because everything just works. You go and get paid. The money just turns up in particular accounts, and then you can do what you want at the investing side over here, because and you can rest assured that these particular accounts are doing exactly what you asked them to do, instead of living your life on the edge like it is over here, like I would imagine most people in the world probably live these days. So go and get it. When you take that money away from you, it guarantees that it's going to go somewhere correct. It's guaranteed it's going to go somewhere where it's going to keep you alive. And by taking it away, you're forcefully saving. You're actually forcing yourself to save, rather than actually pushing money forward to save. It's withdrawing money to save. So you've got to make it pull the money away from you, rather than pushing the money to save, because people can never decide when to push to save. Whereas if it already takes it from you, well, it's already done it for you. So I hope that helps, and I hope someone will consider taking it on. It only has to start small. It's a bit of a snowball effect. So let the snowball just slowly grow, and you don't need to worry about Excel spreadsheets. You don't need to worry about envelopes. You don't need to worry about cutting out hairdressing or that coffee or smashed avocado. It doesn't matter, because you just get these accounts to take money from you, and then it will just magically appear in the places where it needs to, and you can live your life easy. Thanks for listening.